Hi everybody, Lance here from Dojo Management Software. Download Dojo Management Software today on Google Play and iTunes and start managing your school from your phone or tablet. It's a great software, download it today. But what we're going to talk about today is an extension to another video I did, and the other video I did was about the 12-month marketing plan. What campaigns you do in January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, and December. Now, those are your campaigns. Those are what you're going to be wanting to do in those months. Okay, so watch that video so you know exactly what campaigns you should be doing to run your martial arts schools in those months. But what I want to talk about today is actually how to grow your school. I talk to a lot of martial arts school owners, and let's say a guy I talk to, he's got 100 members in his school, and I say, so what's your goal? What do you want to reach? He says, well, I think I can do 60 memberships this month, because in his head, it's real simple. 60 memberships, what, 5 memberships a month? I can grow my martial arts school. If I just sell 5 memberships a month, then next year I'll have 160 members, and then I'll be swimming in money. Unfortunately, that's not how it works. And I want to make this really, really clear. If your goal is to grow your school, like you're going to write down at the beginning of every year, you're going to write down your goals, right? You're going to write down, okay, I want to have this many members by this time next year. I will have this many members by this time next year, okay? And so you wrote down your goals, you said, this is what I'm going to do, and that's great. Well, that means you're thinking to yourself, okay, just need to sell 5 memberships a month, then I'll be at 160. That's not true, because what you forgot to do is to build in your cancellations, all right? Now, did you know, I know that the average time that somebody stays in a martial arts school is around 12 to 14 months. Now, I know you don't want to admit that, but it's true. And you can go back to your statistics, and some really good schools, they can up it to like 14, 16, 18 months. We do that. Watch the video that I put out on how to have your members stay longer, okay? Because you're looking to increase that average. You should always know your average. What is the average time that an average member stays with a month? I know you're gonna have black belts, and I know you're gonna have yellow belts, and I know you have white belts, right? But I wanna know what is the average time that somebody stays with you in your club. And when you look at it, it's really not that great. It's really about 12 to 14 months in a good school, okay? If you do a month-to-month memberships, it can even get lower than that, but if you institute the right programs and the right things to do, then you can actually increase that to about 14 to 16, some schools even 18 months, which is great. All right, but let's talk about this. The cancellation time, when somebody cancels, if you have 100 members right now, the school normally has about 5% cancellation a month. Now, so 5% of your members quit every single month. That's on average. And that's really, of course, they quit at different times of the year, but if you put it down, it's around 5%. Now, some really good schools can get that down to 4%, maybe even 3%. And some bad schools, you know, they're up to like 8 or 9%. These are statistics that you have to know, because if you want to grow your school from 100 to 160 members, how are you going to do it in 1 year? All right. Well, let's say you have a 5% cancellation on 100 members. That's 5 members canceling every single month. So if you want to grow your school from 100 to 160, you're going to right now have to sell 10 members a month just to keep up with the cancellations. And it's not just the 10 memberships you need to sell a month, you need to have 10 paying members a month. Now, 10 paying members a month normally means 12 to 14 memberships sold in a month in order to take your school from 100 to 160 in 1 year. Now, we're going to have good months and we're going to have bad months. Not every single month is the same. So that school owner says to me, okay, I just need to do 5 memberships a month. I'm like, no, that's not true. Because in summer, you're not going to sell what you sell in February. In June, you're not going to sell what you sell in October, okay? And you need to balance this stuff out. So what you need to do is go back and you grow, you say your memberships, okay, I need to have I want 160 members by this time next year. It's great, but now you need to break it down into actually include the cancellations, include the sales, include the people who pay or don't pay, and take a look at which months you can actually do it in there. Okay, I'll give you an example. Let's say you want to grow, like I said, we're going to take the example from 100 to 160 members in 1 year. Okay, so what does that mean? Well, we actually, if you add it up, in order to hit the 160 members, you're going to have to sell 144 members to reach the 160. You're going to have to sell 144 members to reach 160. And that's crazy. And that's like, people don't understand that because they're not thinking, they're thinking 5 memberships a month to grow to 160. It doesn't work like that. Let me give you a great example. Let's say you're an average school, and that means January you've set the goal, I'm going to sell 15 memberships in January. February, you say, also good goal. I'm going to break down the months so that we're going to take that 144, right? We're going to break it down into each month, and that means you're going to say January 15, February 15, March 15, okay? Memberships. That is great. So first quarter, you're like, that's 45 memberships that need to be sold in the first quarter. Now we know January, February, March is going to be better than April, May, or June, right? So what are you going to sell in April? Let's say 10, May 10, June 5? I don't know. Now, that's 25. Now, we're going to have a good July and August. They're also not good months, but September is, right? So let's say we're going to do 5 in July, 5 in August, and September we're going to do 15, right? So great. We did another 25. Then we're going to do October, November. October is a good month. Let's say we do 15. November is a good month. Let's say we do 15. December isn't that good a month. Let's say we only do what? What do you think? 10? Good. So if you take a look at that and you add it all up, that's what you're going to need to do. That's 140 members, right? 140 members, and we still haven't hit the 144. And that's how you need to break down your months. Now, you're going to have to not just break down your months, you're going to have to put those numbers in, include your cancellations, and that's how you really start building your business and understanding how a business grows. It's not 5 memberships a month to go from 100 to 160. It's really not that simple. In fact, it's a lot more complicated than that. But if you make a plan and you set goals, then you're going to know where you are. Now, I know a lot of people tell you got to set your goals, set your goals, and I know you got to set your goals. It's really important because I want you to be conscious every single month if you're going to hit that number. If you set a month where you want to hit 15 memberships, that means on the 15th of the month, you better have 7 or 8 members, correct? Right. If you don't, you need to up your plan. You need to up your marketing. You need to get more sales training. You need to put this plan into place. So you say, okay, my January campaign is this, and in that month I'm going to sell this many members, right? My February campaign is this, and in that month I'm going to sell this many members. And in March my campaign is this, and I'm going to sell this many members. And that's how you need to break it down. So after your first quarter, if you didn't do the 15 in January, 15th in February, and 15 in March, then guess what? You need to add those numbers onto May, June, and July. April, May, and June. Or if you didn't do your 5 memberships in August, you need to add those on into September. So you're only going to reach your goal in that I want you to do this. I want you to actually go in and I want you to write these numbers down. And so you're looking at those numbers every single day when you come into your school. You come into your school and every single day you look at that number and you can write it down. You say, how far am I on reaching my goal? Now, you can actually bring this down. I did this before. If you have a school where you have multiple salespeople, multiple black belts, multiple people who are selling memberships. Now, I used to go back and used to say, okay, if I have 4 black belts in my school and my goal is to sell 20 memberships in that month, that means the goal for every black belt is to sell, 5, yeah? So I would go to each black belt and I'd say, okay, your goal is to sell 5 memberships a month. Do you think you can do that? And he says, yeah, I think I can do that. And I say, your goal is but then I'd always add on a few more. I'd say, well, because my goal is 20, right? So if I'm going to bonus them or give them a good, pay raise or give them more money or give them something special, then they have to exceed my goal. So my goal is not the goal of what my black belts together are, right? So if you just go back to your black belts and you say, okay, there's 4 of you guys and each one of you guys has to sell 5 memberships. You can do it? Yeah, I think we can do it. And then one black belt, he goes, yeah, well, at the end of the month, I did 3. The other guy, he's like, I did 4. And the other guy's like, I did 3. And the other guy's like, I did 2. You're not going to reach your goal. So what you need to do is that my goal is 20, right? Their goal is 30. And you bonus them out on 30, right? So that means each one of your black belts, you're going to say, how many can you do this month? And he said, I think I can do it. You ask them, how many memberships can you do this month? He says, I think I can do 5. I said, can you do 7? We need 7. And then he said, okay, I'll do 7. I said, you sure you can do 7? 100%. Lay your hand in fire. He said, yeah, I'm 100% sure I can do 7. I said, this black belt, how many can you do? He said, I can do 4. I said, no, you can't do 4. You got to at least give me 5. Can you give me 5? Yeah, I'll give you 5. Okay, give me 5. All right, then I'm adding it up and I'm always trying to add a few more on top, right? So that I always reach my goal and they might reach their goal. And when you break this down, I used to run chains, and so it was really funny. When I would get my goal as a chain, now I was running like 300 schools, right? Or 300 fitness studios, I'm sorry. And so when I would get my goal would be like, okay, Lance, we want you to do, I don't know, 1,000 memberships this month. Okay, that's great. So I would break it up into the little countries that I was in. I said, okay, now you need to give me, and I would add on an extra 20%. And each one of those countries would add on an extra 20%. And each one of those schools, each one of the regions would add on another 20%. And each one of those locations would add on another 20%. All right? And what happened is I would always reach my goal. And mostly the countries would reach their goal. And then on top of that, the regions might reach their goal. And then the schools, if they really worked hard, they would reach their goal. So I always reached my goal. And that's one of the reasons I kept being more and more successful, is because I just added on top of 20% or 15% or 10%. And I knew that they would add it on further too. And that's what you need to do as well. So if you have multiple team members, then what you need to do with your team members is you need to say, this is our goal for the quarter. That means in this month we need this many, in this month we need this many, in this month we need this many. Can you do that? Or you say, this is our goal for the quarter. How many can you do in month 1? How many can you do in month 2? How many can you do in month 3? Get every single person in your school focused on what the goal is. And the fact is, if everybody's looking in the same direction, guess what direction you're going to go? You're going to go in that direction. Now, your goal might be to grow your school to 60 members. Now, if you just grow your school on 50 members, I'm not going to be upset. We didn't hit our goal, but then we're going to tack those 10 memberships on to the next time. And if you're always concentrating on what I need to do to grow my business, your business will grow. If your entire team is concentrating on what do we need to do to get more members, you will get more members. Okay? So this is just about you setting your goals every single year, breaking it down into quarters, breaking those quarters down into months, and breaking those months down into weeks. What do I need to be at week 4 in order to hit my goal? What do I need to be at week 3 in order to hit my goal? What do I need to be at in month 2 in order to hit my goal? All right? And if everybody is concentrating on goals, well, you're going to be moving in that direction because that's the direction that everybody's looking at. But if everybody's looking in different directions, well, you're not going to get there. So this is what I want you to do. I want you to go back to the drawing board, and even if you're watching this video and it's not optimal time for you, then spend the rest of the year, let's say it's March and you're watching this April, just fill it out. Don't say, oh, okay, I'll do that down in December. No, I want you to do it right now. You have to do stuff right now. So write down right now what your goal is, how many more memberships you want by the end of this year. Write it down, make a plan, work your plan, and then watch the results. But you're never going to get anywhere if you don't write it down. And write it down. I want everybody in your school to see it. Not in your school, everybody in your staff, everybody, all your black belts. I want all of your staff to see it. I want everyone to walk in there and that is goal 20 whatever, right? And then you're going to hit that goal, or you're going to come damn close. And that's what you're always going to be talking about. Are we reaching our goals? And if you set goals, then it's going to be a lot easier to reach them. If you don't set goals, you're not going to reach them. If you say, I want to grow my school on 60 members, that would be nice. That means like 5 members plus some cancellations. You're never going to reach it, ever. And you're going to stay where you are. So write it down, make a plan, okay? Pretty simple. Go get it done.